The sun blazed brightly over the vast Egyptian desert, where the towering pyramids stood majestically beneath the clear blue sky. Dust swirled in the wind, adding to the ancient and mysterious atmosphere of the land that had once been the center of one of the world's greatest civilizations. Sarah and Ethan, 14-year-old twins, were on vacation with their family, visiting Egypt. It was a trip they had been eagerly anticipating for months, as both had always been fascinated by history, especially ancient Egypt. Stepping into the land of pharaohs and pyramids felt like stepping into one of their favorite adventure books. "I can't believe we're actually standing in front of the Great Pyramid of Giza," Sarah exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement as she gazed up at the massive stone structure towering above them. Ethan grinned, snapping photos with his camera. "This is definitely the highlight of the year. Hey, how about we go explore a bit while Mom and Dad are stuck in the museum?" They both agreed it was time for some independent exploration. Wandering away from the main tourist areas, they found themselves walking through narrow streets lined with small shops, where vendors sold everything from papyrus scrolls to small replica statues of Egyptian gods. The bustling market atmosphere was lively, but one shop, tucked away in a quiet corner, caught their attention. The old, dusty shop was filled with ancient artifacts, incense burners, stone carvings, and rolls of parchment. The smell of age and mystery hung in the air. Sarah wandered over to a tall shelf where a worn leather-bound book caught her eye. But it wasn't the book that made her stop. It was a faded map, displayed in a cracked glass frame in the corner of the shop. The map had strange hieroglyphics she hadn't seen in any of the books she'd read about Egypt. "What do you think this is?" Sarah whispered, pointing at the map. Ethan moved closer, squinting at the strange markings. Just then, an elderly man with silver hair shuffled out from behind the counter, his sharp eyes gleaming despite his age. "Ah, you have good eyes," he said in a raspy voice that seemed to echo from another time. "That map is no ordinary piece. It leads to a place most dare not go. Are you sure you want to know about it?" Sarah and Ethan exchanged a glance, their curiosity piqued. Ethan, always the bold one, asked, "Where does it lead?" The old man's voice dropped to a whisper, his eyes narrowing as he leaned closer. "The Pyramid of Abusir. Beneath its stone walls lies a treasure more valuable than you can imagine, but it also guards a secret that has been lost to time. Not everyone who seeks it returns." The shop seemed to grow colder as he spoke, the air thick with tension. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine, but Ethan was captivated by the mystery. "Can we take the map?" he asked, unable to contain his excitement. The old man smiled faintly, reaching under the counter to pull out a small wooden box. He carefully placed the map inside and handed it to them. "I've kept this for many years, waiting for the right explorers. But be warned, the pyramid holds more than just treasure. Ancient powers lie within." As they walked back to their hotel, Sarah and Ethan couldn't stop talking about the map. They had studied Egypt's history, but they had never heard of a pyramid called Abusir. The mystery and adventure that lay ahead filled them with excitement and nervous anticipation. That night, when their parents were fast asleep Sarah and Ethan carefully unrolled the map. It showed a location not far from Cairo, somewhere outside the usual tourist areas. The place seemed remote and desolate, a forgotten corner of history. The twins made a bold decision. In the morning, they would sneak away and follow the map's directions. The next morning, under the blazing sun, Sarah and Ethan rented a small bicycle to reach the spot marked on the map. The road grew increasingly quiet as they left the city behind, traveling through stretches of endless sand dunes and small, scattered villages. After hours of following the map's instructions, they finally arrived at a desolate area where an ancient pyramid, smaller and worn by time, loomed in the distance. The place felt abandoned, far removed from the bustling tourist spots. The stone blocks around the pyramid were cracked and weathered, and the air felt eerily still. "This must be it," Sarah said, her voice a mixture of awe and unease. Ethan nodded, staring at the pyramid as if it was calling to them. They approached cautiously, feeling the strange atmosphere grow heavier the closer they got. The entrance was almost buried under layers of sand, but after a bit of searching, they found a narrow passage leading inside. The interior of the pyramid was dark and cold, far different from the sweltering heat outside. Their footsteps echoed eerily in the empty corridors as they ventured deeper, guided only by the light from their small flashlights. Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something or someone was watching them, but they couldn't turn back now. The map had brought them here, and whatever was hidden within the pyramid was waiting to be discovered.